What's up, Champions fam? It's Z.E.K.E back in a brand new WWE Champions video, and we are here today with our very first ever Champions Q&A session. This is not a one and done. This is simply the first of many to come. But I have to say this first and foremost. Mad love to each and every single one of you, of my beloved hashtag Champions fam, because if it wasn't for you, this would not be possible. Mad love to those who reached out to me in the comments below my previous videos, leaving some very thoughtful and interesting questions that are going to be answered here by yours truly, the bad guy of WWE Champions. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in, because I do look forward to answering these straight off the rip. So I did not take time out to practice a proper way to answer these questions. I literally just took the screenshots and we're going to answer them right now. So let's go ahead and dive on in. The first question comes from my broski, my fam from Phoenix Rises, Roman Empire 6. Who's your favorite leader in your faction? Well, Roman, to be honest with you, I don't have a set favorite because I respect each one of them equally. Each leader of Phoenix Rises brings something interesting and unique to the table that helps with the overall balance of the atmosphere within the faction, and it's nothing but positive vibes. Everyone handles things differently, but one thing is for certain: when it comes to the leaders of Phoenix Rises, no matter the issue, no matter the subject or topic, they are there for you one way or the other. From Jem to Stony to Mr. J to even yourself, Roman, y'all have always held the members down, whether they are long-term or they're just passing through. You show everyone the utmost respect. If they need help, you help them. If they need knowledge and wisdom, you drop that and bestow that upon them. You're there to help and improve, never to hinder. So with that being said, I got nothing but the utmost respect and love for all of y'all. And there's other members that step up to the plate as well. So like Nalinsky, freaking Blyaz, salute to all of y'all. The broski Bradley, the man. Everyone steps up to the plate. Everyone contributes one way or the other, especially when it comes to building rosters and superstars or dealing with certain types of contests and content. Everyone steps up to the plate when necessary without it even having to be asked. So that's all I got to say right there, Roman. Mad love to each and every single one of you, because I'm proud to call y'all my fam. So salute on the first question, Roman. Next up, we got a question from my boy, forgive me if I butcher your name, Ashish Kumar. Why are you not posting your Silver League poll videos or screenshots? Well, on my main account, Zeke410, I've actually had mad luck and blessings from the scope gods simply doing like 5 pulls of the Silver League loot. Normally, I'm walking away with at least 1 4-star dupe each time, so I'm not really mad or bothered, or I'm walking away with a brand new fuse of a champion that was needed. So that's why you haven't seen any screenshots as of late. But on the other hand, I still do have my free-to-play account, Abso-Free. So what I will do, I will stack up a huge quantity of Silver League pulls on that account and do pulls that way, just to show the drop rates, show, you know, the ups and downs, because you can get a pull, for a 4-star, you can, or you can get hit with a bunch of doopity dupes. But since I'm still low number when it comes to superstars for Abso-Free, more than likely we'll have some solid luck on there. So I will do a video for Abso-Free, and if I do hit something solid on the Zeke410 account, then I will share a screenshot moving forward. So that's my answer on that. But thank you for reaching out and asking that question, because it has been a while since I've actually like done a legit, genuine pull video for the channel. So I appreciate someone paying attention and asking the question, because that was a part of the thing, you know, $20 in a dream and all. But then we had hashtag make WWE champions better, so I fell back. But I will return, and so will the Abso-Free free-to-play account run. So thank you, Ashish, for bringing that up. Next up, we got my boy Akeem Wilson. Now, this is simply just pertaining to the heroic scrimmage contest that just concluded, but I felt, well, he did ask a question, so I'm going to answer it here. How did you get that far in the milestones without the SD Showdown tournament starting? Well, I basically just invested my coins in Showboat Champions that I had plans of taking up at some point in time. But I've literally hoarded so much. I've hoarded like a madman that I'm pretty much good in every aspect of the game right now. So it wasn't going to hurt me to invest the coins during this contest. So I took up 2 4-star bronzes from level 1 to 140 in Harlem Heat Booker, as well as Roddy Piper. I maxed out my Fandango, and I also took up my Charlotte Flair for her coaching ability. And that helped me get a huge edge when it came to completing the solo contest for the heroic scrimmage contest, so I could get my 4-star bronze Modern Era Showboat Ultimate Warrior Heroic Champion of WWE Tournea sorted out. And by doing that, it also helped me out with hitting the milestones with the other solo contests as well. So it was like, 2 birds, 1 stone. I had the resources. I wasn't going to be hurt because I always tell y'all, you never want to hit 0 when it comes to any of your resources. So I just been stacking and stacking and stacking. It was an opportunity. I wanted Warrior, so I went in by any means to do it without spending a single dime on the game. So that's all I did. Just invested in some showboats that I had plans of taking up to begin with. So that's your answer there. Next up, we got my boy Bryan the Big Bird Hater Allen. He has a couple of questions. Question number 1, which retired WWE champion wrestlers do you think should return to the game? Personally, because he had a cool trainer ability, it would have to be Bradshaw, Attitude Era Trickster. He was out on a few banners, but they didn't really showcase him. And this is one thing that does get me about Champions. Champions understands the concept of having a limited time character, having them out for a little bit, and then taking them away. You know what I mean? And that's what they did with Bradshaw. Bradshaw, right out of the gate, he was only featured a few times. And so it was literally a thing of either you got him or you didn't. So with his ability, I would like to see him return. Outside of that, due to the whole AEW debacle, I would like to see the return of Goldust, because after they got rid of the other banners that ended up being replaced, the 3-star banner and everything, after the premium chip banner, after they replaced the 2-star banner as well, they replaced that with the Silver League loot. And when they did that, you couldn't get the Goldust anymore. You couldn't get Goldust. They also took Jericho out of the game. Now, Dean Ambrose, you can still get Tech NXT Ambrose out of the bags from certain expeditions. But outside of that, you can't come across him either. But which retired WWE Champions wrestlers do you think should return? I really also think outside of Bradshaw, Goldust, Jericho, because Jericho and Goldust left on good terms with WWE, same as Bradshaw. I would like to see the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, come back, because there is really no reason for them to be removed from the game. I understand guys like Ryback. I understand Neville. I understand Cody Rhodes, a.k.a. Stardust. But the others, they really didn't have beef. And same with Dean. Maybe he did do a couple podcast shoots, a little too many. But at the same time, he left on good terms the same way Matt Hardy did. So that's going to be interesting to see how they handle Matt Hardy, especially since now you can't really pull for Goldust or Jericho. I wonder what they're going to do with that daily bag with Matt Hardy shards in it. And I wonder what they're going to do with Woken Matt Hardy as well. Wild color TP, or better yet, I think he's saying, what color TP and tokens do you find it hardest to farm or get? When it comes to TP, I am dominating in all aspects of the field except red. Red is my burden. Legit. Every other color, I'm 1K plus. Red is where I'm dwindling right now. I took a huge hit with red because I got so many champions that need it, but I can't farm it for shit. I can farm all my other colors. I can get it like it's nothing. They drop like M&Ms. It's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I can reset the showdown shop and I can pick up 500 green, 500 black, 500 purple, 500 blue, 500 yellow. I have yet to come across 500 red. It is killing me. So all I do is basically just collect what I get from the Monday Night Raw Powerhouse tours for the limited time tours for our daily class tour. When it comes to tokens, overall, the prize wall makes it easy to get any of them. But if I have to say the most difficult rarity overall for me, it has to be 2-star silvers. 2-star silver tokens, just the drop rate suck. But luckily, we've been getting these chests that give us boatloads of 2-star silver tokens, and we have the prize wall to raid as well. So I'm pretty good that way, but that can only go so far, especially if you got so many. Because even if you're getting like 42 2-star silver tokens, it's not going to say like, oh, you're going to get the tokens that you need out of that. You know, it could end up being 42 of the same token. It could be a wide variety, and you get a minimum of the one that you actually need at that moment in time. So 2-star silver tokens are hard for me to acquire. I got better chances of pulling the 3-star silvers or getting 1-star tokens that I barely even use than getting 2-star silver tokens. So that's my answer there. And his final question, Brian's final question is, should WWE champions really retire wrestlers in the game if they're not in the WWE anymore? And I say no, because think about this. What if all the people who invested their money, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to get Hulk Hogan, Immortal Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hogan, you spent thousands to unlock them at 4-star gold. You invested more money so you can get moves and levels maxed out. And then one day you wake up and you find out that Scopely took them away from you. That wouldn't sit well with a lot of people. So I feel that if they are in the game, keep them in the game. And to go to your earlier question, like for instance, certain champions like Darren Young, Neville, Ryback, even Arn Anderson. If you played the game back then and you were able to recruit them, the same way with ADR and Enzo, you should keep them. And if they reskin them, then obviously, yes, they should take care of the players who have them on their rosters first, but you should not take somebody away if that person pulled that superstar. Even if they're done for good, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So no, they should not retire wrestlers. Now I will speak on this and this is going off a little bit. Like I talk about FGO. They have storylines. So the latest storyline they have one. It's called Lost Belt, and it's a Lost Belt Olympus. And in that storyline, one of the servants, spoilers, Musashi Miyamoto, she sacrificed herself, and so she basically died. And if you have Musashi on your team, they basically like made her absent because it goes with the storyline for now. Now, obviously, she's going to come back because she's a key part to the story. But to play into it, if she was a part of your team for that Lost Belt and everything and that storyline, she was basically taken out because she did technically die. But outside that with champions, no, because you're going to have a lot of wrestlers retire and to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. And those are wrestlers, fan favorites, that could bring in a lot of money. So why would champions knock them off the list just because they retire? Like, no. If you pull them and you recruit them, and even if they fully retire for good, keep them on a player's roster. Do not take them away whatsoever, because then you will be dealing with some very, very angry customers. But solid questions, Brian. Next up, KingQuest 710. What would you think if they did a ECW MLC Who would you pick as the free-to-play, and who would you have as the prize wall person? Now, I'm a huge fan of ECW. I mentioned the Dudley Boys, RVD, Cactus Jack, Bam Bam Bigelow. We got a couple, but we do need that subcategory of champions to be expanded. So me personally, there's two people that come to mind as freebies. I could see the Blue Meanie, and I also see Spike Dudley, since we have Bubba Ray and Devon. When it comes to the prize wall, for me personally, I easily see Taz being the prize wall champion. There's no way around it. Taz, with the debut he had, taking out Kurt Angle, like literally ending Kurt Angle's undefeated streak, I think Taz deserves the prize wall look. But I also feel if you're going to do things right, I think they should offer some things. So Taz could be the prize wall champion. And one thing that would be cool is if they offered an exclusive gear, not only for Taz, like have Taz wrestle in his old school ECW gear or in the singlet, or give him his commentator gear, the suit and the glasses, because he looked like a boss. But I would also like to see prize wall gear for Attitude Era striker Steve Austin, because Austin was a part of the ECW crew back in the day. After the whole thing with the Hollywood Blondes, when he was teamed up with Brian Pillman, rest in paradise, my boy, he did go to ECW for some time before he came to the WWF. So I would love to see that, like a gear that you can equip on Austin, and when he has that gear on, or even if he doesn't, just give him the ECW tag link. That's just me personally. But outside of that, mega superstars, this is easy. The Sandman should be a mega for this ECW MLC. Sabu should be an ECW MLC mega. And Raven should also be an ECW mega. But there are a couple champions that could also fit in there. You could easily do another situation where we had NXT, where you get a couple of more freebies than usual. So you could throw a showdown tournament where you got Just Incredible. You could also do one where you had Shane Douglas. There's a lot of opportunities there. But I also like this concept too. Hear me out on this. We have straps. We have legendary straps where you got the 4 metal plate spots. And you also have a skill plate spot. What if, for ECW, we introduce a new mechanic in the game? We have 2 trainers, we have 2 coaches. What if we got a manager slot? And who else to bring forth a new part in the meta, especially if we're supposed to be getting 5 stars? Bring in Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman as a manager. It makes sense. It opens up the door for like Sensational Sherry or Bobby the Brain Heenan, Miss Elizabeth. Like, the managers are crucial to certain people's things. I mean, we got Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. Have Scarlett be his manager. You could bring in Umaga later on. Have Estrada as his manager. Not characters that need to be leveled up, not characters that fight in the ring. They simply serve the purpose of being a manager, helping out one way. Additional critical damage, or able to bypass skip turns, or, additional health, a second win, so to speak, if you're in the critical, like, you brought back, like, you kick out, or you get the kick out once, like, and get a second wind, but it's like do or die time when you're brought back. I think that would be cool to be introduced with ECW. So that's my thoughts. Freebie, Blue Meanie, or Spike Dudley. Taz is a prize wall champion. ECW gear for Steve Austin, though. Megas, Sandman, Sabu, and Raven. Maybe a showdown reward champion in Just Incredible, or a feud reward in Shane Douglas. And far left field champions for Megas, because they're not in the game, and I don't know if they're going to be coming anytime soon. They represented ECW during the WWE reincarnation of it. ECW Bobby Lashley, or ECW CM Punk. Long shots, but I think it could be done. But solid question, KingQuest 710. Next up, my boy Domo Smith. Either Domo or Damo, forgive me. What state you live in, bro? Well, that's kind of easy. It's in my in my name. Zeke 410, Zeke 410, 410, Maryland. I represent the state of Maryland, y'all. That's part of the DMV. You know, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. I am on the Eastern Shore. Bay Bridge, what up? Western Shore, that's where Annapolis and Baltimore is. I am on the Eastern Shore. That's pretty much the sticks, the countryside of things, but we do have Ocean City, so it is what it is. It's a rural place, but it's where I live. It's where I represent. I'm a country boy to the fullest. But yeah, man, it's literally in my name. Zeke 410, 410, Maryland. That's the area code. So that's where I reside. But hey, some people always wonder where I'm from. There's your answer. I represent Maryland. So there we go. A lot of historical places here, okay? So, you know, something to be proud of for sure. Next up, Ashish again. All right, so what we have here, in the future, can Scopely make a training mode like a performance center if we put a superstar in training mode for checking our superstar skills and abilities, or a regular match? If we put a superstar, then opponent have the same amount of talent. Example, if I put in a 10K talented Roman Reigns, the computer will make the exact same talent for the opponent. Which opponent we want for facing our superstar, if the superstar comes from any class, any era, any category, and if I have the superstar or not in my roster, but I still choose him or her for facing my superstars. Example, if I want to face Striker, Luke Harper, or any male superstar, but I don't have them on my roster, but I still choose him for the match, then I put my 10K Roman. Then the computer will make Harper 10K. That way, Roman will have a match in training mode match. If you understood this, please suggest this idea to Scopely. I love the idea of a training grounds. I have nothing against it. However, a practice mode is more for like a console game, like a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox. That's why you have to have differentiations in mobile games. It's a solid idea. One thing I would suggest kinda to switch this up, because since you seem to be looking for max potential of characters, I would like if you could go into your roster and you already can see their stats, where they are, whether they're 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, bronze, silver, gold already, and you can see what damage is done depending on what move level you have. I would like if you could just go to the card that has their information. You go to their stats like you would, like if you were checking out your superstar, and you just see the max stats of that champion, like at 4-star gold. So when you go to, for instance, Modern Era Showboat Ultimate Warrior, okay? We go to his card, we check out his stats, but we see his max stats at 4-star gold. We go to his moves, we see the max outcome. So that way you can just look at the card and you can decide, oh snap, yeah, I'm gonna pull for him or her when they show up on a banner. I think that would be better than just creating an entire practice mode, because that would some people would literally get so caught up in trying to fight a CPU version for practice that I think they would get so caught up in it that they would forget, like, yo, like, you still got to do your dailies, man, and we got feuds and blitzes and showdowns to do. So, you know, like, come on. And like with the Mega Superstar banners, they do have it where you can check out and see what their moves do. Certain moves can do when applied. So I like the idea. I just don't think, because this is a mobile game, I don't think that Champions is going to do it. But if they did at least show the max stats of the champion overall, like when it came to health and gem damage, as well as their moves, when you go to press the card in your roster, whether you have them recruited or not, I think that would be dope. I think that would help a lot of people with making decisions on who to get on their roster and who to invest in. That would definitely be a solid look. And take it a step further, especially if they only show, even if the character, like, it shows they can be recruited at 2-star, so they show the 2-star move, have their 4-star, all their moves maxed out, even their 4-star moves. So then you can make the decision or not if to take them up. That's just, in my mind, I think that would go further than the practice mode, but I do understand your concept and I appreciate it because this definitely would be a concept that would help out a lot of players with figuring out different ways to beat certain opponents and champions. So I do like the idea. I just don't think champions would invest in it. But solid question there. Next up, Ashish again. Can we see a rainbow color TP in the future? We can spin rainbow TP on any color moves. Well, technically, Ashish, they've already done that with dupe TP of superstars because you can use the duplicate TP that you get of certain superstars to fill out your moves of any color. Literally, my Harlem Heat Booker, I literally maxed out all of his moves with nothing but dupe TP of him, no color TP whatsoever. So duplicate TP, superstar shards, pretty much outside of just not only recruiting them and fusing them up at higher star rarities, you can use that as technically rainbow TP because I could use his dupe TP for Harlem Heat Booker, that is. I used it to max out his yellow moves. I used it to max out his blue moves and his green. So the same can be applied. We pretty much do have rainbow TP, but I don't think they're actually going to go out of their way to make a brand new type. Now, it's a possibility because, look, with this Masters of the WWE Universe June 2020 crossover event MLC, we're seeing the potential there. Like, we could use our keys for briefcase superstar pulls, or we can go for straps. We got a normal prize wall that utilizes ingots, but then you also have the class prize walls with the different types of orbs for showboats, strikers, and acrobats, but now it's switched over to powerhouses right now. We got a powerhouse banner. So I could see that possibility because even with those different class orbs, we also got the universal orbs that once again pretty much act like ingots. So the possibility is there, but the chance highly slim. But I do like the idea, but in the end, even if they don't make rainbow TP, pretty much if you do get lucky with your draws and pulls, certain superstars can be completely maxed out with dupe TP. I did it for Harlem Heat Booker, and I also did it for my Asuka as well as my Jey Uso. So it is highly possible to use your dupe TP of superstars pretty much as rainbow TP on any of their movesets. So that is cool, but I do like the idea and the suggestion. Next up, you also asked this. In the future, can we see a rainbow color based class? A class which has all class damage, like powerhouses dominate acrobats, acrobats dominate showboats. Just like this, can we see a class who dominates all classes? I like the idea and the concept of there being a be-all, end-all, because it gets very blurred. Because when you get to certain classes, pretty much everyone has their own opinion. Like when you get the powerhouses, pretty much everyone's right now at the moment, from what I've seen at least, is everyone's saying it's Hogan. And even when you get outside of that, a lot of people are still saying Hogan is the god. Showdowns tagged with Mr. T or Macho, game over. And that's not even including like perks maxed out and not even including epic or legendary straps included in as well. So powerhouses, you know, like you got some champions are just monsters. They can beat everybody. Hogan's one example of that. When you get to the tech class, you got Root of All Evil Black. You got Kofi Kingston for his gem damage. You got Hall of Fame Eddie. Then you get to acrobats. Acrobats is always a huge one. Oh, and before I leave tech, you also have Doink the Clown as well. Can't forget the clown. When it comes to acrobats, Geared Up Andrade, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, Jimmy Uso, X-Pac. Like, there's a lot of arguments. And like even with showboats, I mean, showboats got a couple of heavy hitters, but really the most dominant showboat, in my opinion, hands down, it's Slick Rick. Like Slick Rick pretty much beats out all the other showboats by a landslide. But I mean, you still have conversations when it comes like to the Fiend with that submission and bleed combination. Strikers is another one that's up there because Sid Sid is just a problem. Then you also had Bludgeon Harper. He's a beast. Next big thing, Lesnar. Zombie Page. Like, we get into the subcategories like Zombie Austin, Zombie Rock, Zombie Taker, Zombie Kane. Like, it just opens up a whole thing. And then you got guys like Hall of Fame Booker. So what I'm getting to is, it's kind of hard to see them doing like another class that's truly the be-all end-all. However, I could say that it's possible. I can see them doing like another subcategory of characters, and let's say they're the best ever. Here's another thing, because I know I'm getting long-winded, and I think I got another question, then we're done, but I'm going to break this down to you so maybe you understand it. Like, every mobile game has a different, like, elemental system. Like, for Pokemon, we know how it goes, you know. Water beats fire, fire beats grass, grass beats water, okay? In One Piece, you know, you got cerebral characters, you got fighters, you got shooters, you got slashers. When you got Dokkan Battle, you know, you got Int, Tech, AGL, Fizz. So everyone has a differentiation, but the closest one that can get to the concept that you're talking about right here, Ashish, is Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order, you have Sabers, Archers, Lancers. That's like one group. So it's what like everyone's like basically has an advantage over another. And then you have another section where you have casters, riders, and assassins. But then you also have an extra class in berserkers who pretty much do damage to everybody. So there's different classes that have certain advantages over different people. And that's basically how it works. You have different cycles. But then you have another group of characters and servants that are like Foreigner, Moon Cancer, Ruler, Avenger. So I'm seeing what you're getting at here. I could see champions making like a certain group of characters that are the best there is of their set. I just don't think Champions is going to pull the trigger on it. Because there's certain characters in my mind, like what FGO did, and this is really, I gotta be real because that's what I said I was going to do. In FGO, they have those different servant classes. However, they got a subcategory of characters known as the Grand Servants. So out of all those classes I mentioned, there's a Grand Rider, there's a Grand Caster, a Grand Assassin, a Grand Saber, a Grand Archer, a Grand Lancer. So these characters are the be-all, end-all. They are the gods of that class. So I could see Champions literally saying, fuck the meta discussions. We are going to put up 6 characters in the game because we combed through WWE history. We combed through all the lore of this shit. We watched all the episodes of Raw and SmackDown. We watched In Your House. We've seen who made the most WrestleMania appearances, counted the title reigns and everything. And these 6 characters are the best of the best when it comes to that said class. I could see them doing that, and this is where it comes into the supply and demand thing of Champions. Champions has a knack of just banner after banner after banner. Fate Grand Order has gotten a grip on the fact of, look, you want, less is more. You're going to be more likely to pull for this character who only shows up once a year than the character that shows up every fucking week. And that's what they did with the Grand Servants. They released them, and now it's like either you get them or you're waiting 2 years to go after them. But they are that good that you are literally, in the meantime, you're clearing stories, you're doing your dailies, so you can have enough to pull for that character when they come back around. If they did these classes or created a brand new subcategory of champions that destroyed everybody, they would have to be characters that literally they only show up once a year. And you know where you bring them in? Black Friday. drop them at Black Friday for a few days, and have it set up where you bring back all those class banners. For one weekend, you have an acrobat, a powerhouse, showboat, striker, technician, trickster banner with that OP character on there for Black Friday weekend. Either you get them or you don't. And if you don't, you have to wait a whole damn year. That's how you handle it. Could they do it? A class that dominates all classes, or create a subcategory of characters that represent those classes, but basically they can only take each other out? Yes, they could. Will they do it, though? I doubt it. The money is there. We've seen people will go for broke when certain characters show up. I just don't know if Champions has that kind of logic to apply it. But I see a rainbow class or a be-all, end-all set of characters being top sellers without question. A group that can dominate and beat anybody, and especially if you're doing that shard system, truly, if you come across them, you're going to be looking at it like, well, I'm fucked. Because the only way I can beat them is if I'm using one of the other 5 of the 6. Makes sense to me, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, this is far more doable than I see the Rainbow TP. A new class that literally just outclasses everybody else, or at least they outclass their respective classes. I can see that, because you have to have kings and queens of certain things. So I could see that happening. I really do. And they have certain superstars literally in the game that would make sense for each class. For Striker, Undertaker, even though his Striker version is said to be the piss poor version, if you listen to what they've always said that Taker is hands down the purest striker in the game. So why wouldn't he have been the most OP striker in the game? Charisma, hands down, The Rock easily should have been the king of all showboats in my mind. When it came to tricksters, I'd have to say it's a toss-up between Eddie Guerrero or Edge, or Triple H. A trickster Triple H has not been done. I could see a trickster Triple H being the best trickster in the game, because he was that good of a bad guy. Here's another one that could have make a dominant trickster. Randy Orton. Randy Orton. Apex Predator Randy Orton. Give him the punt kick. People would go crazy. Absolutely crazy. Technician, Bret Hart. Because the one we have now is excellence of execution. But what if they came out with a tech Bret Hart? Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. And when it comes to acrobats, when I think about high flying all the time, Rey Mysterio. He who's that jumping out the sky, R-E-Y, Mysterio, here we go. They got the people there, but Champions has this thing where they don't want to make duplicates because you could have it. But if these characters like you're talking about that you would like to see if it would be possible, if they're the be-all, end-all, I don't see why they couldn't have a duplicate. If you're willing to give us an acrobat Triple H when Triple H isn't aerial assault whatsoever, I could easily see a dominant version of each class that there's no discussion. There isn't no thing, because I put this God tier Rey Mysterio up against another Rey Mysterio. It's done. All of his moves, one charge. All of them hitting hard like a freight train. He blows up the board with color turn gems that literally turn color turn gems into the colors that's set up so he can continue the cycle. And they were already one turn anyway. He doesn't need MP trainers. You just give him a bunch of gem damage or something. Slap Slick Rick on him. Slap Piper on him. It's done. It's done. Getting a trickster who's utilizing botch gems, silence gems, on top of that, leech gems, or can change up and shuffle the board. Steals your health, everything possible in their arsenal to fuck your day up. It's over. Giving a striker cross break gems, X break gems, power gems, bleed. It's done. These characters could be monsters. You got me excited about this question. I'm literally going crazy off of that. But with that being said, I would like to see this idea happen, but I don't think Champions is smart enough to make it happen. And if it did, I think a lot of people would be happy if they recruited them, but I also think that people would be upset and pissed as hell that they couldn't beat them. But solid idea. Final question is from a Crown Era baby alumni, my boy, the G9. He said, I got a question for you, Q&A video. Tell me a couple good memories of our Crown Era days. Well, the first memory that comes to mind, hands down, when Crown Era was created, you know, a Legion of Kings and Queens didn't work out. Rebranded, started anew, started Crown Era. Literally for a couple, like a month or two, it was like 30, 40 people. 30, 40 people that stayed true, stayed loyal as hell, and we just stayed positive. Shoddy, Breathless, Lucario, 44, the Big Man, Heavy Roller, Fuego, Anna, Covenanted, a lot of great people. Stone Cold. We stuck together. It was hard because everybody. It was during the feud meta. You know what I mean? Like people had to be putting up crazy scores. People had to put in that work. And it was always a goal to become a top 100 faction. And if we got the top 100, we would have moved to 50 and 20, etc., etc. Y'all get the gist. But, like, we had 30 to 40 members. And for, like, a solid month or two, like, people would join and quit. But when feuds came around, we just kept climbing the ladder. Like, we weren't at 100, but we would get to, like, 130, 125, 115, 105. And like, because it was beautiful because people were trying to fathom how the hell do we have a 100 member faction, but we're being beaten out by a 30, 40 member faction. It was one of the most beautiful moments ever. Another cool one, just because it was kind of like the student surpasses the teacher situation. It was when Stone Cold, wherever you are, bro, Stone Cold, like there's certain people that just got the gift of gab to get people to join your crew. And that's crucial, you know. Before people were, going all out, making the posters saying require this, require that. We just had the gift of gab, yo. That's literally what it was. It was like Crown Era, join us, Messenger, yeah. Everyone else on Discord and Line, and we wrecking shit on Messenger. Stone Cold recruited DJ Fuego, and Fuego came into the game, and when Fuego joined us, Fuego was literally like 20K, 25K overall. Now he's in Phoenix Rises with me. Now he's over 1 million. I'm trying to catch up to him, but it was the beauty of the thing. Like, dude, like he came in at 20. And now he's at 1 million. So it was just that surpassing the teacher, the master type thing. That was a good like long-term story. Outside of that, I have to say there's two more crucial ones. I had the founding formation of the 4 Kings of Champions. Because I look at things differently than other people. Like some people, like I was a leader. I wasn't the best leader. Trust me, my actions are what led to the downfall of Crown Era. But I looked at it differently than a lot of other people. Like some people try to look at it like a job. Whenever I look at something as a job, that's when I stop. Because if it's not fun, there's no point in pursuing it. But I love anime, I love manga. So I was thinking about One Piece, the pirate crew. So you had like your main group, the Straw Hat Pirates, I was Luffy. But then it was like, Breathless was Nami, and Genshin Black was Nico Robin, Shoddy 700 was Frankie. different people had different roles, but they fit the role because these were like my core people that I could depend on. But then you had the four kings, and the four kings were like my four horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, these are the dudes that I know no matter what content it is, whether it would have been a showdown tournament, whether it would have been a blitz, whether it had been a feud, no matter the requirements, these were the guys that I would be proud to be in the trenches with no matter what. And that was Shoddy. That was 44 Inc. That was Stone Cold. And it was my boy Lucario. These dudes, they wreaked havoc, man. And we had other great people, just like G9. We had the Bear. Like, we had so much personality. Like, the whole squad pretty much oozed machismo. And you had enough core members that they influenced everyone to become better. Now, you couldn't expect that to rub off on everybody. But, like, even loyalists like, you know, Shoddy and Fuego and his wife Anna, we kept it together. So the formation of the Four Kings was that type of shit. Like, you know, you want to be like somebody, you strive to go hoard. You hoard like a madman, like Lucario. You ready to go to war? Don't give a fuck. Gonna give your all every time. Look at your boy 44 Inc. You want to freaking step up your game so you can get your communication locked down. Look at how Stone Cold maneuvers and talks to everybody. You want to be the core center of balance for everybody to know, hey, I understand where you're coming from. I was there, but you're going to make it. Look to your guy, Shoddy. That was a dope moment for me when I could look at these four dudes and I'm like, we could just sit here and talk all day about how we love the game, and it just drove us to get better. And now we're all in different places now, but it was a blessing. The final thing was when we reached the top 100. There was no way around it. My boy Covenanted, you know, a lot of great players, man. Jiffy Pop, a lot of great players roamed through the halls of Crown Era when it was a thing. But that time, and shout out to the Siege too. Siege was a dude that also was like a huge mentor for us too. But I remember the night, like when back in Crown Era, man, I had heart. I do what I can, but because I live in the sticks, I wouldn't be able to perform as good as others. Like others, they were blowing me out the water. 1,000,000+ feud scores, you know, Stone Cold, 44, Shoddy, Lucario, Fuego was making it work where he could. So I was like, even though I was the leader, I wasn't there with the scores and the stats. And me focusing so much on the scores and the stats is what led to my downfall, but I digress. What was dope about it was the simple fact that we all stayed up. 1 minute, we were over 100. Next minute, oh no, we fell back down. And we were just going back and forth. Lucario's in across the water in the UK. He's staying up when he should be the fuck asleep. I'm sitting there going crazy. I literally left, put my kids to sleep, kissed my girl goodnight, drove to a 7-Eleven to make sure I have the proper service so I could feud until the fucking end. Fuego was doing everything he could. He was like, I can't fight no more, but I can still heal people. 44 was just keep it all going. People were popping out, hopping back in. And next thing you know, when the dust cleared, when the thing we couldn't feud no more, we had made it into the top 100. And it was so classic that Fuego passed out and he made a meme waking up, and it was legit this: when you wake up and realize Crown Era's top 100, and it was a picture of the black guy from WrestleMania when the streak ended with the eyes bulging out. Like, did that just happen? Yeah, man, that was dope. But man, a lot of great people. And one thing I can say before I end this video is, you know, it's not where you're from, it's where you're headed. Crown Era was a great moment for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But one thing that I can be blessed to walk away from now, I'm never going to be a leader of anything ever again except for my life and my household. But from the ups and downs of Crown Era, it's kind of like evolution. You know, you're never going to see that again. You had a lot of prospects, young bucks, young bloods trying to get the roster up. You had some journeymen. You had people who have been a part of top 100, top 50, top 10 factions, all came to this one place and everyone gave their all. And what made it even better than this is after the conclusion, even after Crown Era ended for good, permanently, went our separate ways, never before, never again, and everyone landed where they went respectfully. Some of us reunited, some of us didn't, or they stuck together and went somewhere else. The one thing that I can say that I'm proud of from this, from the memories of Crown Era in long-term story, is that everyone who was a member of Crown Era, baby, all went off to greatness. All the members, even before Fuego and I reunited at Phoenix Rises, he was a part of a top 100 faction. Lucario took over Black Ops. He's Stone Cold 44. They left. Covenanted went to Black Ops. Top 10 faction easily every single time. I got to be a part of that. I got to have an experience there as a top 10 faction member. Top 20. So everyone who was in Crown Era, even though, yeah, now it's like things are things, you know. I'm not a fan favorite. I got heat in the community. A lot of people don't like me for all the proper reasons. If I had done and experienced what I experienced and what I put people through when I wasn't aware of how much it was a horrible influence, I'd hate me too. But it built character for me. It made me a better person learning from, you know, when you lose everything, you find out what truly matters. It built character for me, and I'm a better person from that. But the one thing that I'm proud of, no matter what they thought of me or what they think of me now, or even if they don't even care, I had a lot of brothers and sisters from Crown Era. I'm grateful for everyone who gave us an opportunity, who called Crown Era their home. Ranveer, what's up? What's up, Ranveer? Jeffy24, Hartley Handsome, Heavy Roller, the Big Man. There's so many great people. The one thing that I'm grateful is that even after they left Crown Era, they all went off to be great members and players of other great factions. They made other factions better with the wisdom and experience overall. They now knew what they were willing to put up with, what they were willing to commit to. They knew what they wanted to do. They had direction. And I'm grateful to know that a lot of them ended up going off to be a part of top 100 factions, top 50, 20, 10, 5. And I can say that I was a part of that. So memories are incredible. The formation of it, Fuego, his rise, seeing someone go from 20K to 1 million, the formation, like knowing my go-to guys, my go-to gals. Breathless was basically like the mama bear of Crown Era. Shoddy holding it down, Lucario holding it down, Stone Cold bringing in multiple people, 44 just being a true soldier who put boot to ass. Man, just good times, reaching the top 100, and even after the collapse of Crown Era, due to the errors of my ways and my ego, just to see and know that everyone went off to do something great and to dominate. You know, Shoddy and Breathless, I recall, along with Fuego and Anna, they went to DSTO. They just ended up going off to do greater things instead of falling behind and falling off the map. So I'm at peace. I'm at peace. But that's the video. We've been on here for more than enough. I apologize. I definitely got hooked on this section. There's no way around it. I love the question and the concepts that came to my mind. But thank you for the walk down memory lane, G9. Mad love to those that really stepped out. Ashish, if I'm messing up your name, I am sorry. But you did drop some real cool questions. Domo, now you know where I reside. KingQuest, we do need a ECW MLC. You know, we still need a new Ruthless Aggression. We need a Reality and a PG. We need an ECW subcategory MLC. There's no way around that. Brian, there's a lot of champions that can be covered in this, and it's a broad scale and scope. So I hope I was able to answer your questions, but yeah, champions is about making money. Scopely about making money. So, and they ain't trying to deal with lawsuits. They've walked a fine line a couple times when it came to certain issues. So I highly doubt they would retire certain wrestlers, especially when people have made them so much money trying to recruit them. So that's something to think. Akeem, you already know what's up. Sometimes hard work pays off. Sometimes you got the resources to get the job done. Other times you don't. But it isn't the end of the world. Just as long as you try, you can walk away with a clear conscience. And pulls will be coming soon. And I love all y'all, my faction fam, all the leaders, all the enforcers and officers. Mad love to all of y'all. But yeah, man, this was definitely the question of the Q&A. I really like it because I brought this up before. I really would think, if you want to go to another level with certain things, make different hybrids, hybrid champions, hybrid classes. Like, just imagine a showboat powerhouse, or an acrobat striker. Because pretty much you do kind of have those with certain characters. You kind of do when you really think about it. Like Ricochet, he's an acrobat. But with them multiply gem columns, yeah, he hits like a striker. Might not be the whole board, but there's a possibility there. Because I'm thinking like this too. Imagine if you had an acrobat that literally had a 1-charge, 2-charge move that literally turned the entire board into multiply gems. And then you get one blast gem, acrobat with a blast gem, right? Or a crossbreak gem or something. Planted on one of them, blows up the entire board and multiply. The same way Godfather turns the whole board into loot boxes for easy farming. Imagine if you had somebody who just turned the whole board into multiply gems. The same way how the Fiend can turn a portion into protect gems, okay? There's some possibilities out there for broken characters. But when you have that kind of content, you got those type of characters, you already know only a handful of people are going to have them. But just to know they're there, it's kind of like having a real life boogeyman. You don't want to come across them, but you know that it's there. So when you come across it, you're going to see if you can take him down. That's the whole point. Hurdles are meant to be overcome. So that's how I look at it. They made a class that dominated, and I feel they should do it for both men and women. We do need a return of women content. But I would love to see hybrid classes. I would love to see a be-all, end-all of all 6 classes. And if you wanted to go a step further, maybe you do a dominant champion that's the proper leader. Like, Dokkan Battle has the different categories, so they could do the same here where you have a champion. I've mentioned it in the past, where you have a champion whose coaching or trainer ability is, for that one specific class, but it's +3 gem generation and +2 MP. You could also do the same with era categories. You could learn, or subcategories like zombies only, or legends only, And if you want to get your money's worth, obviously you could do the whole, legend technicians only, or ruthless aggression powerhouses only, etc., etc. There's multiple ways that champions could do what they do. But with that being said, didn't mean to hold y'all for long. Salute to all of you who did reach it to the end, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you like this, what are your thoughts on us doing a possible podcast? Interviewing some champion alumni, some old school G's. It ain't gonna be nothing luxurious like the way OG, Papa Bryan, and Gearson did their thing, or how Vengeful One and Davey D did theirs. But I mean, it would be cool just to reach out, talk to some people. They don't have to be just leaders of factions and stuff. They could just be recognizable names within the community and see what happens. I mean, worst thing anyone can say is no. And you know what? Hearing no builds character. So with that being said, mad love to each and every single one of you. My beloved #champions fam. Thank you for watching this until the end. Hope you enjoyed this session. But until next time, y'all, continue to enjoy the game. Scopely, do your best to Hashtag make WWE champions better. But until next time, peace.